not taking full responsibility for her actions. This is Samantha Lee, who was married to Gibson. What's his name? Tyrese Gibson. Apparently now she's gone on a podcast and she's talking about her marriage, about her divorce, and how she's having regret.
How
Take a
did
listen.
you know that divorce was the right option for you in your relationship?
So, first off, what I want to say in general, we know that women file for divorce more often than not. I think a lot of times we do it out of hurt, out of anger, unforgiveness. And you covered this with Dr. Spirit, which shout out to you, sis. I love
Shout out to Dr. Spirit.
But it's a lot of unforgiveness, and that unforgiveness, if it's left unforgiven, turns into bitterness, and that bitterness can build a fence, and that fence becomes very hard to feel when you build that wall up. And I think that of course I won't go into specifics about what happened or why it happened. But I will say that it's very important for you to seek wise counsel. I've had a therapist for a very long time. So loved ones, people that support you, you want to make sure that you are involving in that decision making. And you have to really decide and make a very calculated decision based upon your belief systems, based upon who you're speaking to, your wise counsel, like giving them the information and then making the best decision. I think that we do take divorce very casually. And I'll admit, I probably looked at it a little less intensely as I should have. That's me looking back on it. Because I would never tell, I work with women. I would never tell a woman to walk through that in the same frame of mind I was in when I did it.
And when you say that, but what frame of mind was that? What do you mean by that in particular?
I was very, very hurt. I was very angry. And I remember like when I made like the decision, I was like hysterically crying on the phone with my attorney. That was not the person I should have been on the phone with when, like, that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, I was hysterically crying. And I was not in any position to make that decision. I was extremely emotionally intoxicated. We can be intoxicated with our emotions. And I'm very much emotionally led. I feel very strongly. I'm just that kind of person, very passionate. But I would never tell somebody to make that decision when they're that emotional. But of course, I wasn't talking to someone that genuinely would be for marriage, you know, or for reconciliation. And that's not no slight to my, you know.
No, it's
the current
it's
friends.
not, yeah, it has nothing. There's no slight to that. Not the friends, but I was on the phone with my attorney.
Yeah.
So it was something that was being said to me that hurt me at that time. And that, so at that time when I was on the phone and I made that decision, I was livid. I was emotional. I was hysterical. And so if anything, if I could take anything from that and advise somebody else, because I don't want families to be torn apart.
Yeah.
It would be that if you're that hurt and you're like that emotional about someone, that's not a lack of love. Like the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. It's void of love, void of feelings. And so if I'm that emotional and I'm that hurt and I'm like on that level where I'm just like, I can't stop thinking and I'm just obsessing over why I am hurt. if it's misguided and misdirected, it can go in a bad direction. And so I think that with that being said, I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
And I made a decision like, well, I'm so angry, I'm so hurt. And, this is, and I'm just like, forget it, like, never mind. Like, I need to be done.
Before we continue, I just want to point out here that women tend to make emotional decisions or decisions based on emotions. And this is why how many good men are hurt by this. She made an emotional decision or a decision based on her emotions when she's all hyped up. She's emotionally intoxicated. And to end her marriage for whatever reason, she and Tyrese were married for, I believe, 5 years. They got married in 2017, and she filed for divorce. And do you believe that she's taken accountability? Because she's saying that she had friends in her ear who weren't pro-marriage. In other words, she was listening to whomever she was complaining to about Tyrese. And these individuals were telling her, girl, why don't you leave him? Why are you putting up with that? I could just imagine hearing them, what they would be saying to her. And I don't know. And I'm not sure if she's really taking accountability. I know she's talking about she listened to these friends, but at the end of the day, you're the one who made that decision. Whether or not you received bad advice, you followed that advice. At the end of the day, it's up to you. The buck stops with you. You're the one who pulled the trigger on the marriage. As far as my understanding is that Tyrese wasn't abusive. He didn't cheat on her. Yes, they had their ups and downs like any normal couple, but her friends or whoever, and she decided to take the advice to leave, because this is what happens. Unless it's for a valid reason outside of infidelity or some kind of physical abuse or other types of abuse, modern women today are easily ready to throw in the towel and walk away, especially when they marry a high profile individual, because they know they want to get the bag. They have a young child together and they know that they're going to take him to court. By the way, they signed a prenup and she was trying to break it. And as usual, they come into the relationship. Oh, I'm good to sign the prenup. But as soon as they want to walk away for whatever reason, they want to break that prenup because they want more money. So she's demanding that she be paid $20,000 per month for a 5-year-old child. What does a 5-year-old need $20,000? Why? She's making quite a bit of money. She has her own show. She has her own income, but yet she wants to take him to the cleaners and get $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old. Help me to understand this craziness. So now she's here talking about she was emotionally intoxicated and she was led astray by the people in her ears. But let's continue.
This is horrible, just ruminating on all the negative things and not focused on any of the positive things. I posted a reel, and I mean this. I really mean this. There was a guy who was talking about that before he decided to marry his wife, he had said or had told his wife that he needed to choose the people that would speak to her in her most emotional moments. And it was people that would be for the relationship.
Right.
And I know a lot of people had different kind of like comments about the person and everything like that. But the message of what he was saying for me resounds true, because the people I had in my ear at the time were not for that.
Let me ask you this, because I think that's such a good point. Like when you're even in that spot when you're emotional,
yes,
you're in the pit of your relationship.
Yes,
it's so important to make sure you have people who are pro-marriage, pro-relationship, pro your current relationship,
100%,
to be able to help, as much as possible,
100%,
make the best decision to keep the marriage going.
Yeah.
When everybody may not have access to that counsel. So let me ask you this: if we can go back and if I were able somehow to insulate you with a pro-marriage, pro-relationship community, do you think you still would have actually gone through a divorce?
Not that time.
Okay.
I don't know what would have happened. Oh, I've never said this publicly.
No, this is what we do.
This is initiated exclusive, baby.
Delano, make sure you zoom in on this one, okay?
Yeah. It gets
Don't
deep.
actually no. I want to deny myself. I want to deniability. Yeah, no, the truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No.
Wow.
I wouldn't. And that's the truth.
Still not taking accountability. Still blaming people in your ear.
I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. Because I think that I was women were like, I'm an extremely emotional person. People that know me know that about me. I'm the kind of person that like, okay, I feel so strong, and I can ruminate. I can get so lost in my thoughts. I know a lot of women are like that. Like we're a lot, not all of us, right? But some of us are, just like a lot of men can be like that. But I know women specifically, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I can't stand this. He don't do this. He don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. And we're just focusing on these things. And because you don't have a certain person in your life to check you and say, sis, what about this? What about this? What about these strengths? What about what he's not doing? What, like those types of things. That can get you thinking about the positive aspects of this person that you may not be thinking about when you're upset. You're only thinking about what you're mad about. You're not thinking about all the other positive aspects of this person. And so in those moments, you need somebody to be the person for that person.
Yeah.
In those moments.
So, assuming that, this person was open to it, are you now in the spirit of potentially even being able to rekindle a relationship, like rekindle that relationship? Is your spirit in that place, or could it ever go back to that place?
Oh my gosh, she is asking me this. Can we get an edit?
Is that a hard question?
It is. It's loaded because of the fact that there's been so much that's happened. Like there's been so much that's occurred. Okay. He's my daughter's father. So
what do you think about that?
I would say this. I would say that if we were both going to show up and we were both going to fight for it equally and sacrifice equally.
Interesting.
Like, things that I needed and, things that, he needed. I wasn't perfect. Come on.
Yeah.
Your girl ain't perfect. So I would say that if we were both willing to fight and we were both willing to do certain things, then yes.
There you have it. She's saying that if they were both equally ready to fight and equally ready to sacrifice, she would want to restore her marriage. That's great that you want to restore your marriage, but she knew you thought about that while you were in it. Instead of filing for divorce, you could have taken time apart to think about it, to calm down before you actually file and went through with a divorce. Now that you're recognizing that he's the father of your child, now you know that. Wasn't he the father of your child when you decided to file for a divorce? Wasn't he? But no, you know that you were emotionally intoxicated. There's something called emotional intelligence. And yes, we women are emotional. We are led mainly by emotions. But when you understand that when your emotions take hold of you, you don't operate with emotionally, intelligently, I should say, then shouldn't it be something that you should work on before pulling the gun, before it's too late, and now you would be consider reconciling with Tyrese after you divorce him and want $20,000 a month in child support? Really? Now, let's hear what Tyrese had to say, his response to her interview and to her being open to reconciling. Take a listen.
All right. Hold on. Look, man, I was not going to respond to this video of my ex that's now gone viral. She is loving it. Congratulations, you went viral again over something else that you said, because you're trying to build up your YouTube page and get your followers up. Listen, man, listen. If you had people in your ear that influenced you into leaving your husband and your 1-year-old child, your innocent 1-year-old child. We both were divorcee kids, grew up in toxic environments, torn in between our old family, new family, stepfather, stepmother. That's a life that we both lived. And you packed up a 1-year-old, put a COVID mask on top of the Ring cameras, and I was literally in an airplane on my way home to fight for my marriage and my family. You're heartless. None of your friends recognize you. This is all about money. If you had friends in your ear, you're lying, you're gaslighting, you're playing. The only person that was in your ear was your mama. Her name is Patricia Randolph. You didn't have people in your ear. The amount of people that was supposedly in your ear, you also had a whole lot of people like Aventer Gray, Taffy Dollar, Creflo Dollar's wife, who married us. You had a whole lot of people in your ear telling you that you're about to do something stupid, impulsive, and y'all are actually not going through anything that would make you want to leave your husband. Let's go even further. When Aventer Gray and Pastor John Gray were having their own marital issues at the time, you arranged a therapy session with Aventer Gray at our house. And when she walked out of her therapy session, she walked into the foyer where the Bumblebee is, and there was 50 boxes with like 7 or 8 people there packing up all the shit to leave the house. And I was in an airplane on my way home to try and fight and save our marriage.
Now let's listen to what Tyrese had to say in his response. It wasn't very favorable, but you take a listen. Let's hear what he has to say.
All right. Hold on. Look, man, I was not going to respond to this video of my ex that's now gone viral. She is loving it. Congratulations, you went viral again over something else that you said, because you're trying to build up your YouTube page and get your followers up. Listen, man, listen. If you had people in your ear that influenced you into leaving your husband and your 1-year-old child, your innocent 1-year-old child. We both were divorcee kids, grew up in toxic environments, torn in between our old family, new family, stepfather, stepmother. That's a life that we both lived. And you packed up a 1-year-old, put a COVID mask on top of the Ring cameras, and I was literally in an airplane on my way home to fight for my marriage and my family. You're heartless. None of your friends recognize you. This is all about money. If you had friends in your ear, you're lying, you're gaslighting, you're playing. The only person that was in your ear was your mama. Her name is Patricia Randolph. You didn't have people in your ear. The amount of people that was supposedly in your ear, you also had a whole lot of people like Aventer Gray, Taffy Dollar, Creflo Dollar's wife, who married us. You had a whole lot of people in your ear telling you that you're about to do something stupid, impulsive, and y'all are actually not going through anything that would make you want to leave your husband. Let's go even further. When Aventer Gray and Pastor John Gray were having their own marital issues at the time, you arranged a therapy session with Aventer Gray at our house. And when she walked out of her therapy session, she walked into the foyer where the Bumblebee is, and there was 50 boxes with like 7 or 8 people there packing up all the shit to leave the house. And I was in an airplane on my way home to try and fight and save our marriage.
Wow.
So if you had people in your ear at the time, they must be still in your ear, because you're still trying to get $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old. You make $160,000 a year on your own. This is all a game. You're clout chasing. You're something that I don't even know. A simple woman, not into materialistic things, don't care about fame and mansions and popularity. You're everything that you told me and all of your friends and loved ones that you wasn't. If you wanted to be famous, boo-boo, that's all you had to say. You didn't have to play this game that you wasn't. Now you out here playing on single mothers and their emotions, playing on women that are actually in abusive relationships and fucked up marriages that are toxic and dark and dysfunctional. That's not what that was. You think I would have a song entitled "I Don't Think You Ever Loved Me" if I didn't really feel that way? You think I would have a song out called "Love Transaction" if I didn't realize that it was never love, it was just a transaction? This shit is about money. You've hired 3 law firms trying to fucking suck me dry. I'm approaching $1 million in legal fees, and we had a prenup. You already tried to ask me to come back. You already tried to reconcile. I told you I was in a relationship with Zelly, and I was not willing to go and break this off or cut this woman off because you decided to wake up on a Wednesday and come back and play in the sandbox. Everything about the way you left me was heartless. It was evil. You never considered me, your marriage, and let alone your innocent 1-year-old child. She had to celebrate her 2nd birthday apart.
Wow.
And if you really are really suddenly caring about the effects that you've had on me and your family, why don't you sit these fucking lawyers off of me? Call your lawyers right now and tell them that everything that you're still trying to get right now, you don't want it no more. $20,000 a month for a child? Our prenup says no alimony. Our prenup said everything that the prenup said. You're trying to crack the prenup, and it's been 3 years of it. I should have never hired a fucking attorney. I had a prenup. Everything that I was supposed to give you in the prenup, I gave it to you. You want more. And it's been 3 years. I've moved on. I'm with Zelly. You moved on. I don't even want to tell niggas the first nigga you started dating when we broke up, because you're going to go viral from that. If I were to tell niggas who you started dating as soon as we broke up, you would go viral from that. All you want is attention. You want Facebook followers. You want Instagram followers. You're trying to be a life coach, and you trying to get niggas to drink the Kool-Aid. You fucking with a real one right here. Everybody can see through your bullshit. I may be alpha. I may be loud. I may appear to be a narcissist, as some niggas would say in the comments. Girl, you was good to leave that nigga. He's a narcissist. No, she's a fucking narcissist. Not only is she a narcissist, but she's a sociopath as well. And what is a sociopath? Someone who will maliciously and vindictively do some shit, fuck over you, hurt you, be made aware of the fact that they inflicted trauma and pain on you, and not even call you and text you to say they sorry. Did you think about the effects that it was going to have on me or our innocent child when you left me the way you did? Did you think about anything? No. It's all about Samantha. So now, go ahead and chase whatever career you're trying to chase. Go ahead and go viral. Go ahead and keep doing your goofy ass podcast and Miracle Mondays and whatever the fuck else you're trying to build. Over here, I don't want no one to confuse me releasing songs the way Adele released songs about her ex-husband, the way Jasmine Sullivan and Mary J. Blige release songs about their exes when they get cheated on, lied, get fucked over, when they go through painful relationships that come to an end. I don't want no one to confuse me releasing songs, singing about how I feel about Samantha with confusing me wanting this woman back. If I wanted her back, I would have got her back. I don't want Sam. She may be saying that she was thinking about, no. If you had people in your ear when you left me, those same people are in your ear 3 years later because the fucking lawyers are still on my back every day. Go sell this shit to somebody else. Look at every interview I've done, from Sway in the Morning to the Breakfast Club to everything that I've been posting and everything that I've been saying. And if you don't like me, nigga, I don't like you. I don't need none of you women in my comments saying they like me. I don't care to be liked. I got my heart broke. I was married. I was with this woman for 5 years. I never cheated. I got more access to pussy than most niggas I know.
True.
I was a good man, a good husband, and very, very focused on my family and my children. And the $2,500 or $2,600 that I was giving Samantha, since she decided to leave me, I was giving her that for 2 years straight without a court order. Find another nigga who decided to leave your husband without a court order. Find somebody else that's going to cut a check for $2,600 without the judge making a judgment for you to do so. I'll always take care of my kids. She's trying to turn a prenup into alimony, which she ain't getting. She's
This video is cutting out there. But there you have it. You've got the gist of it. Obviously, he's hurt. Obviously, he didn't want to end the marriage. He was, like he said, he was on a plane coming back to continue to work on his marriage, to fight for his marriage. But you see, there's a lot of contradictions in what she said and what he's verifying actually did happen. He's saying, yes, she had someone, friends in her ear, but it was actually her mother that was in her ear. She said she didn't have anyone to tell her that was pro-marriage, giving her advice. But yet, Creflo Dollar, who's a pastor, his wife, and other people who that they've seen about the marriage and had counseling with, telling her that she was making a mistake. So this woman is on this podcast lying through her teeth. This is what I'm saying. Women say one thing and do another. She's portraying that, oh, poor me. I didn't have anyone to guide me. All the people in my ears were telling me to leave him. Yet, that is not true. She signed a prenup. Yet, she's trying to break the prenup so that she can get alimony. $20,000 a month for a 5-year-old? Really? She's making good income, over 6 figures a year. But yet, she's trying to milk him for the last 3 years. Trying to break the prenup, an agreement that she signed on to before they got married. Now she wants more money. And he's paid almost $1 million in legal costs because of her. Help me to help, for this to make sense to me. Help me understand this. I know a lot of men, this is not uncommon, but when does it end? When does it end when a woman stops trying to hurt the man that she's with or the father of her children? When is it going to end? It's like she's saying she made this decision based on emotions. Well, she continues to go after him, try to hurt him, try to get more money from him. When is it going to end? It's like I find that modern women are so vindictive, revengeful, no kind of compassion in their hearts for their partner. Help me to understand this. What do you think? Do you think that she's being genuine in this interview that she's given? Do you think that she's clout chasing according to Tyrese? I think she is. He said that she tried to get back with him and he said no. She's trying to break up his current relationship. He's moved on. He's not going to go back to her. She's hurt him. I'm sure that he played his part in the demise of this relationship. Of course, it takes two to tango. But at the end of the day, it seems to me, based on what she said and what he's saying, is that she threw in the towel, in her own words, based on how she was emotionally intoxicated and listening to people. Now she wants to go back. Girl, bye.